good. I'm doing good. After we talked this morning, I went back and so I basically watched the fight 1.5 times. I watched it. I caught it from the 7th to the end, and then I watched the whole thing all the way through. So it's your time to shine, man. Inoue does this thing, man. How you feel?
Oh, well, I predicted an Inoue win. I was really elated to see that he was able to stop him. Because in those big fights like that, when you're able to stop your opponent, you make it clear that you are dominant in the fight. So him coming away with a KO victory, I mean, it just solidifies everything about him right now.
Yeah, I think he cemented himself, and he did it, man, fundamentally when you think about it, because he did it the way you supposed to do it against a southpaw, the big right hand. I saw it early, man. I said, man, that right hand is, man, when he was just throwing it straight down the pipe. That was like the first thing I think I responded. I said, yeah, straight right, straight down the pipe. Like that's what it was all night, and it was a delayed reaction. But I saw a lot of work, and I'm kind of glad that boxing kind of calibrated me a little bit. It made me recalibrate some things and how I look at it. I'm kind of glad I went back and looked at ThePulse, because he presented some challenges in that one. You know what I'm saying? That was something like it took some time for Inoue to keep doing what he was doing. And he didn't. ThePulse, I salute him because he didn't come in to lay down. He had some counters. He got a couple oohs and ahs from the crowd. He put up a good effort. I think his punch variety, was good. And I think, like you said before, I think his performance is going to warrant people to want to see. Okay, just like right now, they're clamoring for what Emmanuel Rodriguez is going to do. I think Maloney wants to see him. But just like they're clamoring for Rodriguez, who also shared the ring with Inoue, I think that showing kind of might have raised his stock, because he didn't, he gave Inoue some pushback. You know what I'm saying? He made a good account of himself. What you think?
Oh, definitely. He definitely came to fight, and he put up a courageous effort. It's just that Inoue was the more dominant fighter, and as the fight kept going on, Inoue was the one that was more or less invoking his will with his punch, landing his power punches. And as a result of that, he was able to take him out. But ThePulse put up a good performance. His performance was it was indicative of a champion wanting to remain champion as long as he could. And it seems though, when he got hit in that delayed reaction, and when he finally went down, I think his body told him that, look, you can't go no more. We put up a valiant effort, but this fight is over. Because when you look at it, it appears that he probably could have got up. But the delayed reaction in him going down, it showed that, he was hurt. And I don't know. He probably was so bewildered that he couldn't go no more. But to the average viewer, it looks like he probably could have got up. But I think at that particular point, his will to continue, I think he was too overwhelmed.
Yeah,
and he just couldn't do it.
And if he didn't even have any strength or no power, you already know what happened when Inoue. If they would have stood him up and said, all right, let's go, and he would have had, man, it would have got brutal. So
and I told you that the earlier knockdown that he sustained, that he was able to get up, and before the referee could allow the fight to continue, the round ended.
Yep.
I think he was in trouble at that particular point also. But he got up, he made the count, but the round ended. And I think it was perfect timing for him, because if there would have been, I'm going to say, if there would have been maybe 20 seconds left in that round, there would have been an attempt from Inoue to put this guy away. The same way like when he was able to go back on Stephen Fulton. I think you would have probably seen the same type of an effort to end the fight that he did with Fulton, if he could have been allowed to attack this guy again. And I think that would have been prevalent in the 4th round, and it would have been prevalent in the 10th round if he would have got up and the referee would have been allowed to let this fight to continue. I think it would have ended a little more brutally in a in an overwhelming knockdown. But you know what? That's when your corner has to step in and say, okay, enough is enough, because it was evident he was not winning the fight. So when you have a vested security for your fighter, you have to do what is right. And his corner, I believe, in both cases, would have to have stopped the fight to preserve whatever they have left for their fighter, and not let him meet his demise so viciously.
Yeah, I think this one ended the way it should have. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna say, okay, they saw something. I already seen a couple people out there saying, that ThePulse showed that, he showed this and that, and could he? And I think that, along with Inoue basically saying that he's gonna stay there, he wanna settle in and get stronger there. I respect the decision. You know what I'm saying? He's already light years beyond, a lot of people in what he's been able to accomplish, but he's saying he's going to settle in there. And some people speculated for one more big fight, but he himself, after it, I heard him say that he was going to, stay and settle in and become strong in that division. So I think he's going to be there defending it, or at least, that's going to be the next step.
Yeah, whatever decision he makes, I think that he and his crew have his best interests at heart. Eventually he will more likely move up to featherweight, but he's not going to do it in his next fight. And as far as I'm concerned, I think that that's a good decision. Because the featherweight division will always be there for him. And maybe it can draw a little more enthusiasm into his first featherweight fight. And who knows, him waiting could be, just what he needs to do to enhance a more lucrative fight. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. But whatever he does, I'm satisfied with it, because it's coming from his crew, it's coming from his heart, and so far everything that he has done in the sport has been a plus. So one day he's gonna move up, but I guess he feel he don't have to bite off more than he can chew right at the moment. He can gradually move into this and have some thought within it.
Yeah, I mean, he got it right. Because, I mean, that's just another cherry on top to actually stay and defend it anyway. And it's still, you know, some people still probably wanted to see the MJ fight. I heard he was in attendance. It was a couple other boxers they say was in attendance there looking at him. But it's his right. And I think, you know, you can't do anything really but just pretty much wait until they put out whatever they put out. I think that they know about activity. They want to stay active. They're very deliberate in their plans, and pretty much they haven't steered them wrong. So that's just one of the ones where, at this point, you gotta, you know, wait and see what they're gonna do. You know, and if they all about business, so I don't foresee it being that long. You know, but yeah, I think he put on a stellar performance, and would you say that puts him? Is he number one now? If we had a top 10 pound for pound, do this victory that he did, getting undisputed twice in 13 calendar months, does that make him number one overall?
Well, first of all, the way you put that question, okay, it's almost like two questions in one. All right, doing what he did within the 12-month calendar period. Okay, first of all, the performance, you have to credit that first. He definitely is the fighter of 2023, fighter of the year, being able to pull off that particular feat within that short period of time. He's definitely fighter of the year. And as far as I'm concerned, that win, as far as my pound for pound list go, perpetuates him to me as pound for pound the best fighter in professional boxing right now, because of his achievements, his accolades, and what he was able to do. To me, his pedigree is so much more superior than any individual fighter out there right now. So, yes, to your answer, he is pound for pound number one. But arguably, there are people that will still think that Crawford is possibly the best fighter in the world. And there's an argument for that, you know? But when you comprise a pound for pound list, it can be objective. Each individual could categorize fighters in a different manner. And what I'm trying to say is, if you get 5 pound for pound lists, all the fighters won't be arranged in the same order on everybody's list. However, many of the same fighters will be comprised among the pound for pound, but they may not be directly in the same order as one fighter may have it, as one fight fan may have it compared to the next fight fan. But what's inevitable is that you're going to see certain names that appear and that are comprised in everybody's list. But arguably, the order that they are in could differ from fan to fan. But as far as I'm concerned, I'll place him number one. And arguably, there may be people that disagree with me, but that's what sports is about. You have individuals that root for Team A, and you have individuals that root for Team B. And because of that, that's what makes the sports interesting, because you have people rooting for the individuals that they want to see win, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if I put Inoue number one on my pound for pound, and the next man may put Crawford number one pound for pound, as long as that individual recognizes Inoue as being up there, then I have to respect that person's ideology, analogy, the way they see it. But I place him number one, and I respect anybody else's decision.
Yeah, but in my heart of hearts, that's really what the pound for pound list really was. Really, it's really it really should be, you know, it should be the net for good boxing talk. You know what I'm saying? If you had Bud at number one and somebody else had Inoue at number one, and you know, all I can say is, man, that's just good company to keep. You know what I'm saying? They in a good conversation, and like you said, a lot of the names, it's a lot of names on everybody that's common. Some people might have left one or two off. Somebody put one or two on that you didn't agree with, but it's gonna be some common names. And them two guys are up there, you know what I'm saying, which you can't really debate or argue. You can make a point for either one. But it's just a good conversation. That's really what it's all about, you know what I'm saying, and how people see, you know, who they got. We know that he the real deal. You know what I'm saying? I think he did it against two worthy adversaries. You know, these guys didn't have any ailments, any excuses, anything. The negotiations went fine. They both showed up. It didn't get toxic. You know, the conversation around them didn't get all toxic. I think that what he displayed more than anything is how champions move, how the sport of boxing should move in every aspect. Because you had to think there was some cross promotional with the Fulton and him and Fulton. That was kind of like cross promotional because Fulton was over there with PBC. We didn't hear any kind of, oh, he want this or he's ducking. It was nope. We heard it might be a potential for it. Then it happened. And the results was what it was. He moved up and he unified. We heard, well, if it's best laid plans, the very next fight is going to be for ThePulse since he upset MJ, you know, to go get the other two straps. We heard about it, and then it happened, and we got the results. And you know, we didn't have all that extra stuff around it. We know that these were top tier competitors. We talked about ThePulse's effort, and I think he embodied, you know, inside and outside the ring, business-wise and appeal to the masses. Because I don't care where you at, his name is up there in those lists. His name is up there pretty high. So I salute him for that, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to recap that, man. And, you know, we just got to wait and see what he's going to do going ahead and what lies to come. But I figure we'll do it. We'll put a button on this. We'll put a bow on it. And once again, once I hear anything or come across anything surrounding Inoue, you know, I'll be sure to send it your way. You know, and we'll pick up on the next series when we figure out what's going on with him next.
Yeah, one thing I will say about Inoue, as Inoue throughout his career has moved up from one weight class to another weight class, he does not appear to struggle in the new weight class. When you look at him fight, when he move up in weight, he fights like a fighter that belongs in that weight class. He does not look like a fighter that's handicapped, that's moving up, and now has to struggle in the new weight class because the opponents are bigger and stronger. He seems to blend right into each weight class that he moves up into and fights with the ability that, hey, this guy is the better fighter. And when you look at his fights as he move up, each time there is no handicap in him fighting somebody that's bigger, maybe stronger. His skill set and his punching power tends to offset anybody in his new weight class, and he comes out victorious as being the better, stronger fighter and harder puncher. So I take my hat off to him because there aren't many fighters that can move up in weight class and sustain the same type of ability to take his opponent out in a heavier weight class the way that Inoue has been able to do it as he moved up and up and up. He just seems that in each weight class that he moves in, he tends to be the better fighter in that weight class. So the only thing we can do is see what the future holds. And if he moves up again, will he be able to sustain the invincibility in a new weight class the way he has so far throughout his career?
Right. You're right. I mean, you know, he looked like superior at every level that he step up in. You know what I'm saying? He gonna settle down. He gonna settle down here for a second. You know what I'm saying? Definitely defend it. And then, like I said, I don't think it's gonna be long before we hear the next move because they're calculated like that. Then they're gonna take a little breather. He gonna have a little fun time. You know, relax. I heard him mention something about the New Year, so he probably gonna take it in the New Year. Get back, you know, have a couple business meetings, and then when we need to know what we need to know, he gonna pop that info out, and we gonna be on it.
Yeah.
But I was satisfied with it, you know. So I knew he was gonna do what he was supposed to do, you know what I'm saying. I'm proud of ThePulse, but that's all I wanted from you, man. I just wanted you to, you know, talk to your listeners, man. They like your take on Inoue and how passionate you are, man. And it's a lot of people catching on, man. It's a lot of people, especially this weekend. It was a lot of people, a lot of Inoue fans this weekend that came out, you know, expressing themselves. So I figured, you know, you could put a bow tie on this. It was a good late Christmas gift, early morning. You know what I'm saying? Something Santa left out for us to watch in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, his talent is undeniable. And for anybody that's a true fan of the sport, what he's able to have achieved, I think every true fight fan has to recognize the fact that this guy is a talent. Maybe a once-in-a-lifetime talent. We haven't seen anything like this since Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, I would have to go. I would want to go back before him too, and see who else would be in that vein. But yeah, he's a rare talent. He definitely got skills, man. The little dude he's a monster. He lives up to his name. You know, people don't believe that he's real until you get in the ring shown.
And what's so satisfying for a fan like me is because I watched this guy and I knew he was going to be someone to be reckoned with. You know, did I expect for him to move up and conquer weight classes the way he did? I'm surprised to see that he was able to do it. However, I knew he was successful as a fighter and would be a champion. But he really surprised my expectations in what he's been able to do in moving up in weight class and his ability just to be so dominant the same way he was in each of the lower weight classes. I mean, he's really surprised my expectations. Every time I watch him, it's a ooh and an ah, because this guy is doing some unbelievable things. And guess what? We as fight fans, you know, sometimes we don't want to just praise a person's accolades and say, oh, okay, he did it. We subconsciously want to see him move up again. You know, we want to, in our minds, feel that this man is so invincible. Those that like him and follow him, we believe that he can do it. And we will continue to send him to another weight class. And eventually, he may move up to a weight class that he runs into somebody that's able to sustain everything that he's got and can dish something out too. So, he's my warrior. But how far do you send a warrior into battle? You know? Do you tell him, job well done, let's go to the Hall of Fame? Or do you continuously keep sending them into battle, keep sending them in until one fight, you may see all the battle fatigue that he has sustained throughout his career all fall down on him in one fight? Because that's what we are actually pushing for when we keep wanting this man to move up, to move up, to move up. We have to realize that this man is still human. And for all humans, there is a limit. Whether we want to recognize that there's a limit or not, there is a limit for every human being. And should we push the envelope with Inoue to force him to his limit, and then one day you look and see that he wasn't able to sustain everything that he has in his entire career, and then if he does it, how do you rank him after a defeat? Does it take away all of his achievements? And for his naysayers, is that their aha moment? Even though no other fighter in his time period right now has achieved anything close to what he's done. So, you know, I praise him as a fighter. If today he indicates that he's not going to fight anymore, I'm satisfied. If he chooses to keep moving up, I'm still with him. I'm with him until somebody can stop him. And if somebody is successful and able to stop him, I still don't diminish anything that he has done in his quest to be great.
Yeah, I think he's I definitely would say he already in the Hall of Fame. He can't do. That's why I said it wouldn't be any explosion right at this point. You can't say you. This is some fighters out here now to where at the level that they at, there ain't no exposing them. You know what I'm saying? I think that get overused. I think when we put the cart before the horse, sometimes somebody run up against something, and we say, oh man, they got exposed, and that's legit. But like at this point, especially with him, it's not exposure. And to be honest, I hope he settle in and defend it. You know what I'm saying? I hope he settled in and defend it, and then let whoever's at that next level, because you know it was just an upset at that next level. BC was supposed to be that guy up there. It was just an upset. Let something else settle and make it worth his while. But I think I trust his team and what I've seen and what I know of them already to not move them too fast. You know what I'm saying? They're smart, and you got to go with what they got, what their plan is. They haven't done. They pretty much they move in excellence from what I see. You know, so. And the thing is, I don't think we may not have even seen the best Inoue yet. You know, I don't even know if we could say we've seen the best Inoue yet, because some of the little clippings I've been seeing out online since this fight took place and people saw how that fight went, right? I think that as time go by, people are going to be watching him more. They're going to be more accustomed to him more. Like, a lot of people are buying into the fact that because certain voices say, oh man, he's this and that, and he don't get the publicity like some of the other people discount who he is. I think people are gonna start watching, and as he, especially if he's settled in and dominating, people gotta come to him Like, you know what I'm saying? People gotta come to him where he at, unless he decide he wants to move. Like, when people gotta come to him where he at, and they're, you know, climbing up for that mountaintop, they're gonna be watching him and watching all his different characteristics. Oh, he could do this. He could fight like this. Oh, this is how he gonna, you know, this is how he dealt with this. This is how accurate he is. I think it's gonna bring out even the best, because he's in his, right now, I would say Inoue is in his perfect prime. He's in his perfect, he's not a young, he's like, what 30, 31? He's like 30, 31. And physically, he's right where he needs to be. You know, prides himself on being in shape. He's acclimated like almost seamlessly. He's gonna settle in right now, and I think in this division right now, at this point in time in his career, we might not have even seen the best of him all put together. The people keep picking up, okay, well, how did this person have success? So they seen some of the success that ThePulse had in spurts, some of the things that Fulton did in spurts when he decided to let his hand. So they're picking up little things and they're watching. So I think the best of him is yet to come, and he's already gonna be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? So I think, you know, I think he's in a good spot, man. He's in a great spot. Hope he gets some rest, and we'll hear from him.
Listen, his conditioning, as far as what I see, his conditioning is excellent. Because if you watch this particular fight, okay, at the end of each round, when he goes back to his corner and sit down, and you just take a look at him, he does not even take in deep breaths. He don't look like, okay, I need to sit down, I need this minute to get my composure together to go back out. When he comes back and he sit down, he just has the appearance of an individual that's sitting back just watching TV. He does not seem to be exhausted. He effortlessly sits there and he's listening to his corner. And he don't even drink water like, oh, I need this. Like, I'm fatigued. Oh, I need this. He just sits down and just wait for the round, and then get up and go right back out in the fight. And at the conclusion of the next round, he comes back to his corner and he sits down, and he does not even look like he's in a fight. He just sits down comfortably, and he just looks like, okay, got another round? Okay, I'll go do some more of this. Did you notice that when he come back to his round and he sits down, he don't even look and look, there's no desperation in his corner. You know how a fighter come back to the corner and they look like they tell him, look, you gotta do this. You know, like they forcefully telling him, look, you gotta do this. You're not doing this right. You got to do this. You got to take care. He comes back, he sit down, they wipe his face off, they just look, and there is no urgency in none of his corner people that anything is going wrong. And there's no urgency on his face, where he's looking for you to tell him something that can change this fight around. He just looks so comfortable round after round after round, and when he sit down, he just looks as if he's in the perfect place to be where he's at in his career.
Yeah, he's that's him and Bud, man. That's one of the things I was listening to Antonio Tarver. And one of the things I can say, man, if I had to put them two in a nutshell as a commonality, is preparation. Like, out of everything, man, that's what I'm really starting to really understand. Because we talk about inactivity, but preparation. You know what I'm saying? They look like they're fully prepared. Even Bud, you can say whatever you want. He prepared to, you know, play basketball. He prepared to play football. He prepared to. That's like Inoue. They're just prepared. They were going over the metrics and what this week. This where we were at Fulton's fight. You know, fighting it this way. This where our conditioning levels was. This where our numbers was. They were tracking stuff like that. They take this stuff. This is really a science. They put everything into this. You know what I'm saying? It's no mystery as to why they're meeting their mark, because they stay prepared. They stay active as possible, and they stay prepared. You know what I'm saying? The level of preparation, you know, that's another trait that made Floyd so good. He stayed prepared. He stayed in shape, and he stayed prepared. He stayed fit. He stayed on point. You know, and that's what I see. That's that Andre Ward, that level of excellence. You know, that those athletes who stay dedicated and stay prepared. That's the commonality between all of the great ones. All of the great ones do it, and Inoue is no different. So
yes, I have to agree on those comments. You know, I agree 100%.
But yeah, I figure we wrap this up. You know what I'm saying? We give Inoue his salute, and just wrap this one up, and I'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm gonna go ahead and get this mixed down and put this out, man, so we can give him his salute.
Yes, sir, and I appreciate being a part of, you know, your podcast, and anytime, you know, you feel that my commentary is important, I will always be there to tell you exactly what I think. And I speak from a fan of the sport point of view.
Absolutely.
Not as a professional commentator, not as a person who has done this professionally, and my word means so much more over the next person. I just like to spread out thoughts about the boxing game that your average fight fan can appreciate. And I welcome any comments like you always do. You want your fans to comment. If there's something they like or don't like, you wanna hear the feedback. And so far, I don't think anybody has told you, hey, this guy here, your OldHead, man, he just don't seem to understand what's going on. He's looking at things with blinders. You know, everybody can, you know, understand my point of view from my perspective. And there seems to be an air of respect of my commentary that is not so far off the charts that it turns off any of your viewers.
Yeah, it's an asset. They talk about they like your feedback. That's why I say don't stall them out. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get more creative in talking about these other fighters that you like. I got a couple of them. They got some things coming up. Like Frank Martin and Keyshawn, we'll get on to them, but it got to be other fighters. But yeah, like that's why, you know, this is a staple on the channel. You know, people like to hear your commentary, and so I'm gonna keep. Whenever Inoue come up, you're gonna be the resident Inoue expert. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been watching them for the longest and tracking them, and you know what I'm saying, and showing and putting other people on to them. So, you know, we'll get back into the next one. We'll get back though. As soon as I get something to see or know something, you know, you'll be the first one to hear about it.
Yeah, I put a lot of people on to Inoue's talent, and they were able to see that what I said about him has come to fruition. And if you are a fight fan today and you don't know anything about Naoya Inoue, then I question if you're really the fight fan you pretend to be, because I've already done my homework. If you don't know who Inoue is by now, then I can't help you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll conclude once I know something about him. And I'll hit you up, or if you get anything, hit me up, and we'll do a segment about that.
Yes, Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
No problem. Then enjoy your evening.
Yes, sir. And you do the same.
Okay, peace.
All right.
Well, that was my old head K. You know what I'm saying? He love that Inoue, man. He talk about Inoue forever, man. And that's how it is with some fans, man. And it come down to their favorite fighters, man. And I think Inoue actually deserves, the salutes that he got and the attention that he's getting, and how, people are actually recognizing him. Because I think he's one of the things that's right in the sport. On every, I'm talking circumspectly, from every angle. I think he's one of the things that's right with boxing. Anyways, thanks for tuning in here at BodyWorkBoxing, where we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.